Our overall kit for the 966 has arrived. Lots of goodies in here. Bearings, pins, tie rod ends. I got that kit from Allstate's Ag Parts. Love that site because they have a lot of things on there. And it's pretty reasonably priced. If you were to price out everything that's in that box at a dealership, you're probably looking at about $1,000 in parts. My whole goal is just to get the slop taken out of this front end here. I don't want to do the entire job quite yet because it's probably going to be a big job and I don't have the time to do everything right now. See how much plays in that? That's what we're gonna fix. Good old-fashioned double wrench. Yep, there we go. Come on. What are we hitting? This pin right here is kind of the main thing that we're focusing on today. So this came out of the trunnion, I believe is what it's called. And it was what had all that slop in, you know, when I would wiggle that whole thing and all that slop in there. This was part of the problem. This was the pin that went up through the bottom. It's the original pin. It's got the red paint on the bottom, a little bit of red paint there. But you can see where it was starting to wear right around here. Now on the back side, it's not wore down, but on the front side here, or whatever side it was, it's starting to eat into it. And a tiny bit down here on the bottom, you could also see it starting to eat into it. So this was part of the problem. Now on that trunnion piece, or that yoke, we'll call it a yoke, because I don't even know if trunnion is the right word for it. On that yoke, where this pin goes up through, there's supposed to be bushings, I believe. And I think that is what is the major issue. Now I'm hoping that it's not too egged out, because if it's too egged out, I might not be able to put bushings in it and I might have to get a new yoke. So we're gonna pull that thing out. I had to take the tie rods off of the tires, the steering arms out here, because I couldn't pound the tie rods off of the yoke because they're seized in there. So I gotta pull this whole thing out as a unit and then we can kind of dissect it a little bit more. But as of now, everything is tore apart. I got the steering cylinder out of there. A lot of stuff. All the major components are out of there and we can start rebuilding. But now we know what this looks like. First step is complete. We've got everything disassembled here. It looks pretty empty in there, but we're gonna take that yoke piece down. We're gonna replace the bushings in it. And I'm gonna check out the parts diagram because I need to see where certain bushings and washers go, because all the parts that came in this kit there's no directions to it. So we've got this huge thing of miscellaneous parts. Most of them I know where they go, but like, I don't know where that big bushing goes. In here, this is pretty straightforward. Thrust bearings here, tie rod ends. We've got some pins and stuff in there. But it would have been nice if there were some directions, but there's always directions online. If you go into a parts diagram, if you figure out how to read a parts diagram, you'll be able to put anything back together. Got the new bushings in. This is also a new shaft. That is very tight. There is zero play in that. Just noticed something on this tire. Obviously we got a ton of dry rotting here, but I got a cord showing down here on the inside, so that's wonderful. Kind of thinking I'm gonna replace these here this winter. They got really good tread on them still, but terrible dry rotting. Not really sure I want to keep running on that. Definitely not liking how that's looking. The hurricane is here. Fortunately, the main part of it missed us. The majority of the storm actually went up through the central part of the state, and it's actually hitting up in New York right now. We, on the east side of the state, we got lucky, and it kind of spared us. So we really didn't get any of the rain or the wind. Major wind, I should say. It's obviously windy right now, and we've got a couple showers today. We do have a tornado watch, just because some of those outer bands of a hurricane can create some funky stuff going on. But the bad stuff missed us, which is good because we were already plenty wet with 6 inches of rain over the last week and a half. So this rain that we would have gotten would have made it very, very wet. So we're sitting comfortably. Hopefully we don't see any blown down corn or any crops like that. So Lord blessed us, spared us from any danger. Prayers and concerns for those out and that got hit, in the state and, well, in the entire path of the hurricane. Obviously going to cause a lot of damage, a lot of rain, a lot of flooding. So the kit came with these 3 washers. I have no idea what they're for or where they go. I'm gonna use them, put them in there, and take the slop out of that. There's a roll pin here that goes through the pin that goes up through, so we gotta put the roll pin in yet. Take a peek under here. We got our roll pin up there. I put 2 washers up here and then I stuck 1 down there. That seemed to take care of a lot of the slop. Next step is actually the cylinder here. There's 2 bushings in this cylinder and I haven't decided yet if I want to replace them yet or not. I have 2 new ones. I'm thinking maybe I probably should. My workbench is kind of in the splash zone. I hate bushings. They are one tough son of a gun. It's a new day. I think we got around 2 inches of rain yesterday, which honestly, I think a lot of it actually probably soaked in. I didn't really see much running off, so that's probably the best thing we could have asked for in a hurricane. Well, we need to fast forward a couple hours. I put the camera down because I was having a very frustrating time working on this thing here. So I went to put these old tie rods back on the tractor, and the problem I was running into is when I went to tighten down the nuts on our tie rod ends here, I was just spinning the ball inside. And so I could not get the nut tightened down on that, and there was really nothing I can do. I have all the new tie rod ends, like I have all the pieces that I need for the tie rods, tie rod ends and everything. If I can find one. Well, they're in there somewhere. But I have all the pieces. I was going to do them in the winter time. But since I couldn't get them today, I was like, well, we're just going to have to do this project now. I tried to get the tie rod ends out. I was able to get these out because these are threaded. We put them in the vices there, and I cranked on them with the pipe wrench here. But the other ends are slotted, and they slide way up inside here. Like they were actually all the way up in here. And I couldn't get them out. I ended up taking them down the road to an Amish shop, and they were able to get out. They cut the whole thing open, pulled them out, welded it back together, grinded it, and did a real good job. They're a machine shop, so they're good at that. They can do it quickly. My brother and I probably could have done this, but it would have taken a long time, and I need the tractor to be ready to go by Monday so I can mow hay. And with my skills, I just wasn't going to be able to get it done in time. So I spent the $180 for someone else to do it, and now I can put the new pieces in. We're going to paint some stuff, and then Monday morning, we're going to put everything back together, and hopefully we can go mow hay. It's like a brand new tie rod. You know, I quoted a new one at the dealership this morning. Just this tube without the tie rod ends. $250 a piece. Now we let them dry, and Monday morning, we're going to slap them suckers on. Front end's all put back together. Sorry I did not film any of that. It was just kind of one of those things where I wanted to get it done because I got hay that I need to mow, and I just wanted to be focused on this for the morning. Anyway, guys, if you want to see me run the tractor, stay tuned for the next video. We're going to mow a bunch of hay here at home and some alfalfa down the road.